Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Let's continue with the microservice series. In my last video, I was talking about how to save data into MongoDB, as I have already explained you, right? So in this video, I'll be using the same library which we have created in the last video. All right, and as you can see, I'm showing a user management service which is up and running. So in that, I'm using the same library. All right, so using that, I should be able to create user and save into MongoDB. So I'll show you MongoDB first. You can see there is no database with the name user management or something, right? So I'll show you the demo, then we'll do the code walkthrough. All right, so as you can see, I have three endpoints right now. Your post get first post is for the create user, second one is to get all the users, and the third one, which is nothing but the last one, get the user by ID. All right, so as you have already seen, right now I don't have anything, so if I say get, it should return nothing. All right, saying zero count. All right, so what I'll do, I'll create first a single user. I'll say user one and say password is simple p1. All right, I'm not encrypting the password, just to show you the demo. I'm just plain directly saving the string as it is. All right, so you can see that record has been created. Let's see if it's really created or not. You can see the database is created, user management, and there is something called a collection with name user. If I double click on that, you can see there is a one row which has created name user one and the password as it p1, right? And this is the ID. All right, let's copy this ID. One sec. If I copy this ID, I should be able to fetch the user, try, and just pass it. I'll say execute. Okay, you can see we are able to fetch the record. Now let's try the other API, get all. So without passing anything, I'll not use this feature. I'll explain you how to use that pagination. So I'll simply execute. I can see total count is 1, and in the result I am having that record. All right, how to use that feature I'm explaining you right now. So what I'll do, let's create some more users. I'll just say simply user 2. Let's do execute. This should have been created. Let's create some more users. All right, so far I have created 5 users. All right, so I'll just do directly execute. You can see all the 5 records are coming in the JSON format. So total count is 4. Now I'll show you how to use this page limit and skip. So skip means how many records you want to skip, and the limit is means how many record you want. So let's say I want 2 records and I don't want to skip anything. I can say 0 or I can leave it blank. Both are same thing. I'll just say execute. So you can say total count is 5, but I took the first 2 records. So as you can see, user 1 and the user 2, because I said page limit is 2. If I say to say 1, I mean to say 1, it should give me only user 1. You can see. If I say 4, it's showing 4 users. If I don't pass it, similarly, if I pass 0 or if I don't pass it, its story is same thing. I will be getting all the users. Now I'll tell you how to use this script. I mean how we can use this user. Assume you have a list in your UI. Alright, so at first you don't want to load all the users. So what you will be doing, you will be starting with a 0, so that means skip count is 0, and you will say my base size is say 2. So what you will do, first you will fetch 2 records. So you got 2. When user click on next, so your skip will come 2 because you already loaded them in the UI. You don't want to load it again, and then you will fetch another 2. So you see right now I have 2 users, user 1 and 2. If I execute again, it will skip these 2 users which you already have in the your UI. So you can see now it's picking next 2 new records, right? And it's saying total count, so that we can keep a track of that, how many times we have to hit the API. All right, so this is all about this user management microservice. Now I'll show you how I have done through the code. I'll just stop the service and just minimize this one, and let me show you. If I'll just say refresh, you should be able to see all the 5 records. You can see it has 1 2 3 4 5. All right, I'll just minimize this one also. Now this solution I have created in .NET Core 3.0. as I have already communicated, I mean, so 3.1, as I have already communicated, like for this, you need 2019 Visual Studio. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. All right. So first I'll show you the solution. So I have five projects in mind. So one is the main one, user management. This is web app. And all four are the .NET standard class library. All right. So I have domain layer, I have model layer, I have persistent layer, and the service. So model domain is just to keep all the data which will go into data DB, and whatever data will come from DB and which you want to return to the directly to the like whoever calling the API, those objects we can keep into domain. And D model is, that's where I'm keeping the DDO, means view model. You might have used this word, by the way. So this is the object which will we be getting, I mean the data which is coming from the UI, that for that I'm using user DDO. So you might have seen when I was running a Swagger, I was passing user1 and B1 or something, right? This is nothing but that object. All right, and this persistent is the same. So internally, if I expand, I'll show you that NuGet package. See, I'm using this NuGet package which we have created. I mean that library which we have created in the last video, right? So I created a NuGet package out of that and just added it because we don't want to duplicate the code. All right, so I'll just collapse this one, and this is the same user repository. In that case, I was using something called test object repository. So similar thing, same concept. I'm using user repository, and here I'm having add, get, and get all. All right. In that last video, I was having simply add method. All right. So it's the same methods, like you can have use like insert, and then use for fetching you can use the link queue mechanism using the repository one. You can say collection.sql and then use the way you want to use. All right. And the last one is the service is, so since our service is so simple and on, so we won't be having so much business logic or something, right? Or maybe we don't want to, we will not be doing so much operation or something, right? As of now, what we are doing, we are converting an object from DTO to domain. So that is the only logic we are doing in the service layer. So we have all the three methods, but majorly I'll show you this somewhere. It will be there. One sec, I'm searching. Okay, yeah, this is the one. So as you can see, I'm calling user repository dot add method, but it requires a domain object user. And what we are getting from UI, we are getting a DT object. So for that, what I'm doing, mapper.map, and convert that DT object into use domain object. All right. So this is very at a very high level. Now I'll show you how we can plug all this. First of all, I'll show you how I'm creating the these mappers and all. So in .NET Core 3, I mean to say not even 3, in .NET Core, by the way, we have to create a profile or something, right? If you don't want to use any other third-party library, if you want to stick with the Microsoft or something. Anyway, we are using Autofact, by the way. I mean, like, this is the way we can create it in .NET Core, by the way. So you can see I have to create a class with saying you can give any name, and just we need to inherit the class with called profile. Profile, if you see, it's coming from one sec. It's coming from, you can see automapper.profile. Just go back. So this we need to inherit. All right, and we need to have a constructor inside. You can create all the mappers whatever you want it. So in my case, I'm using user TTU, which I want to convert into user. Reverse map is like for now I am not using, but I'll tell you what's the use of reverse map. Reverse map is like when you want to convert user domain to DTO and DTO to domain, DTO to domain, or DTO you can call it as like a view model, similar thing. All right. And this startup config is something, I'll start from the main class first of all. So this is the program.cs file, and startup class, I'll show you where I'm doing that. In the configure service, there is something called add auto mapper. In that I have to add the type of a startup. So what will happen when when the application will be running for the first time, right? I mean, like when we starts running, it will initialize this automapper, and what it will do, automapper will scan the whole project, and it will search for all the classes which are inheriting the iProfile, which is nothing but this class. So what will happen when will starts to scan the solution, right? It will see, okay, auto mapping is there, which is inheriting this class. So it will just have this configuration in the system. All right. And for the Swagger, what I'm doing, this is the way you can include Swagger into your any web API code. I mean to say web-based solution. So you just need to add Swagger library, and then just very simple, just say swagger.add swagger, and then you can just define what you want to do right now. So I'm just using only two things. So one is to load the documentation. So I'll show you what is the documentation means. I'll run it again. So you can see this create user, get all user, and get. This is nothing but documentation. How it's gonna come, I'll show you. First, you need to say that you need to include that XML comments, and this is the class name. You can give anything. I'll show you where you have to give actually. So what? Go to right click on the main project, say properties, and then you go to builds and scroll to this section output. Then you select this. It will be like this. You just say check it, and it depends on you what path you want to give it. I just directly used to have the XML file in the like in the same root location, so that's why I removed the path. And by default it's gonna pick the project name. By the way, you can give any name, doesn't really matter. Okay, so, but whatever name you give it, you just copy that and then go to your startup and paste it over here, while you will be having something called include XML comments, right? So that's when it will read that XML and show you all the comments on the Swagger page. Next slide is just showing the title and all, right? So whatever I was showing, I stopped the service, I think. Okay, so all those information it will be showing. I'll show you again, 1 second. So this information, user management, and these things are coming from that line. All right, and that's it. This is all about Swagger and how I am loading all the configurations. So for this, what I have done, I have created two methods. One to load all the DB related, I mean to this database related dependency, and another one is just to load all the services. Just to keep the code clean, I have created two separate methods. So I'll just go inside them. So I have created a config folder, and then I am having that static class. So you can see this is the way I'm using the inbuilt framework to register all the services. So I'm just simply saying like this is my interface and this is the underlying implemented class. Just this is for services. Similarly for database I'm doing. So in my last video you might have seen there is some class object like the database context, and there I was passing actually the connection is string and the database. So in this class what we are doing, we are creating a single type object of that particular thing and then passing all the things reading from the app setting. So I'll show you the app setting also. So you can see over here I have created this section database settings, and in that I have only two properties saying connection string and the database. So these two thing I'm creating in the this static class of this method, and I'm just writing it again. So what will happen once that this application starts for the first time, and we at the time of initialization it will read those files and create a database object which will be available for your all the database related operations. All right, and just go back to the same as I missed anything. I think almost these are just bare like initial code. So once you create any new project, you will get all the initial codes. That's not a big deal. So if I go to controller, I am having something called user manager controller, and there I am inheriting the service so that I can call that service to add or register on. I have three methods, right? So basically those things. So this just a simple thing like post get, which I explained on the Swagger page, right? This is a simple thing, just directly call Swagger, sorry, service.get or service.register, and same thing. All right, so this is the register thing. One more thing I'll show you. Okay, yeah, so what I'm doing, as I already told you, like I'm getting a dd object and converting to domain object and calling this and passing to this add method, which is nothing but what it will do. It will just save that particular object into db by calling the collection.insert one async method. Alright, and it is the same class which I explained in the last video. In that case, in the last video I was using something called I object, I test object repository, right? So you might have seen I was inheriting from this abstract class MongoDB repository. If I go inside, you can see it's the same class. Alright, okay, and let me see if I missed something. I think that's pretty much about this video. So in the next video, I'll be working on the stock management survey. So where So you have created the user now. Using those user information, we will call the stock management service, and we shall say, okay, user Ben has bought XYZ stock, and what's the quantity? Like that, we just dumping the information into DB. It's gonna be exactly same, but to create it that microservice. And then what's the plan? What we'll do when we create or is add a stocks into the DB, right? That time it should trigger a RabbitMQ or something, right? So that I will cover after that, how to create a RabbitMQ and how to consume. That's all gonna come in the later videos. All right. So that's all about for this video. I'll show you the demo all one more time. You can see same thing. I'll just say simply get all. If I don't pass anything, I'll say try out. All right, you can see it's creating those things. It's returning all the data. All right, thanks very much. See you in the next video.